Yo guys, and as you can tell by the thumbnail and by the title of this video, I am going to be doing the Smackdown after Wrestlepalooza that happened a week ago today. As you can tell by the thumbnail, I did put somewhere in this thumbnail, I presume it's like over here somewhere, that I did give last night's Smackdown a 4 out of 5 because I felt that it was a good SmackDown compared to last week. So if I was to watch last week's SmackDown again and this week's SmackDown again, there is no way in hell that I am putting this week's SmackDown as the same rating as last week's SmackDown, because last week's SmackDown was rushed. The matches really didn't make a hell of a lot of sense for some of them, and just everything about that SmackDown felt rushed. That I gave it a low 3 out of 5 because it was a SmackDown before Wrestlepalooza, and that's the SmackDown we got. But I've given this SmackDown this week a low 4 out of 5 because I think it was that much better. Sorry, from last week's. But I did this, and normally this kind of thing means that I've given SmackDown a 3 out of 5 because obviously that's in the middle. But the reason for this in the thumbnail is because of the main event, which we will get onto when we talk about the main event, because obviously there's other bits that happened on SmackDown last night before the main event, which was the triple threat between Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, and the current women's champion Tiffany Stratton. So yeah, that's the reasoning for that in the thumbnail. And if some of you are thinking, I don't know about a 4 out of 5, but if you watched last week's SmackDown, there is no way I'm giving it the same rating because it's just last week's was just that much worse than this week's. So yeah, that's the reasoning for the 4 out of 5. Okay, so we kicked off SmackDown last night with Paul Heyman in the ring. Obviously, we got the Wrestlepalooza recap, but we got that on the Raw as well. Asked us what do we want to talk about, because obviously he is the Oracle for Seth Rollins, and obviously Cody Rhodes is going up against Seth Rollins in 2 weeks today at Crown Jewel in Australia for the Crown Jewel Championship, because obviously it's champion versus champion. OTC chants started. Paul said it's rude to speak of the injured. I like the way he played on that with the normal saying you would say for that. That was quite cool. But yeah, he wanted to speak about Brock Lesnar, and he was about to speak about Brock Lesnar, but then Cody Rhodes' music hit, and Cody Rhodes interrupted Paul Heyman quite quick into the segment that Paul Heyman was doing, but I felt like we got enough of Paul Heyman speaking before Cody interrupted. I'm glad that Paul Heyman didn't yap for like 10, 12 minutes and then Cody got like a 3-minute promo. I'm glad that we actually got a little mini Paul Heyman promo and then a longer Cody Rhodes promo, because the promo with Seth on Monday Night Raw was fantastic, but I felt like Seth spoke for the majority of it and Cody spoke for a little bit, but this time Paul only spoke for a little bit. Obviously Paul's not Seth, but you know what I mean. Paul spoke for a little bit and Cody was allowed to and able to speak for the majority of this segment, which I quite liked. He interrupted quite quickly. Said he made a mistake calling him a goon last week. Cody asked about Brock Lesnar, but he then wondered if he was speaking to the Oracle, the Wise Man, or the Advocate, because he got a picture up of Paul Heyman doing the announcement for Brock Lesnar at Wrestlepalooza when he was going up against John Cena, and said that that doesn't look like a guy that is doing this as a one-off thing. So he's wondering of Paul Heyman's loyalty, pretty much trying to plant seeds in Seth's and Braun and Bronson's head that Paul Heyman does this a lot. When it comes to working with people, he tends to also work with other people behind their backs without them knowing that he's actually working with them, not just doing it for a one-off thing. Because Cody Rhodes was pretty much insinuating that I think I said that right, and if I did, I don't know how I managed to do that. That Paul is also working alongside Brock, which is not what Seth will want, because Seth wants to be the leader of the company and wants Braun and Bronson Reed to come up with him, and he doesn't want Brock Lesnar to be a part of his group. So that's going to plant seeds in Paul and Seth's head a little bit, because I don't think this whole Vision and Seth Paul situation is going to go on for very long. I don't think this is going to be a very, very long thing. So I feel like plants are going to be seeded like here and there over the next like 6 months up to WrestleMania, 6, 7 months, however long it is to WrestleMania. I feel like there's going to be a little plant seeded in Seth's head, like here and there, to pressure Seth Rollins. But yeah, so that's pretty much what Cody was insinuating to Paul Heyman after showing him that picture. And then Paul Heyman replied with saying that he's the GOAT. So he didn't say that he was the advocate, he didn't say that he was the wise man, he didn't say he was the oracle, he said that he is the GOAT, which is very valid, because I definitely agree with Paul Heyman in saying that he is the greatest manager of all time, by far. I don't think anyone will ever come close to Paul Heyman, because he's good at selling when it comes to taking bumps. He doesn't do it very often. Fucking amazing on the mic, makes storylines way more intense and better because of how good he is on the mic, and just his facial expressions as well, his character work. He's fucking fantastic. So I don't think anyone is going to come above Paul Heyman. Definitely not. But yeah, then the Vision showed up. I actually thought it was Brock Lesnar for a second, because obviously Cody spoke about Brock Lesnar for a bit, and so did Paul Heyman. So I thought Brock was going to be like coming from behind to attack Cody or something. But then I was just thinking to myself, like, nah, it can't be Brock Lesnar. Probably a very slight chance that was actually Brock Lesnar, because obviously there's loads of sources going around at the moment saying that Brock's not going to be on telly for a while, which is very good, because I don't want him on my screen, so I'm very happy about that. So I'm glad that it was the Vision that showed up, not Brock Lesnar. But there was a slight part of me that was thinking, Brock's going to turn up? What? Okay, that doesn't really make a hell of a lot of sense in a way. But okay, but no, it wasn't. It was Braun and Bronson. And then Cody said to Paul, Cody said to Paul, sorry, that isn't loyal to Braun and Bronson, because obviously Paul Heyman being an advocate for Brock Lesnar and doing his ring announcement for his match against John Cena. So Cody's trying to plant seeds in Braun and Bronson's head that, again, Paul Heyman is not loyal to anyone. And likes to turn his back on a lot of people, and he's done that with everybody. Everybody, I think, I'm pretty sure. And then a brawl started with the Vision, and none other than Randy Orton came out to save Cody Rhodes from being beaten down by the Vision, but then picked up the title and stared at it for a good few seconds, and Cody noticed that he was staring at it. So that's very intriguing and interesting to see where they're going with this whole Cody and Randy situation. Is Randy going to win the title off Cody very soon, and then held it for a little bit up to like Royal Rumble elimination time, and then Cody's going to win it back off Randy Orton, or maybe in a elimination chamber match, maybe, because they used to do that. They used to do not number one contender elimination chamber matches. They used to do WWE Championship and World Heavyweight Championship elimination chamber matches. So I wonder if they're going to bring that back next year, and Randy puts the title on the line in an elimination chamber match, and that's when Cody wins it back and then goes on to WrestleMania to possibly face CM Punk, or carry on the story with Randy Orton up until WrestleMania. Maybe it's a trilogy match or something. I don't know, but they're going somewhere with this Cody and Randy situation. I'm just not 100% sure on where it's sort of going yet. But yeah, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting Randy to come down for the save. I was actually expecting Cody to sort of be beaten down, and then nobody come up to save Cody, and that will plant seeds in Cody's head even more that nobody actually is his friend, because no one came down to save him. So that will plant seeds in Cody's head to be like really careful of who he's friends with, sort of thing. So I was actually expecting no one to come out and save Cody, but ended up being Randy Orton, and he was definitely eyeing up that title. But yeah, I gave the segment a 5 out of 5 because I felt I felt Paul Heyman's promo was very good. Well, always is. Cody Rhodes' promo was fantastic. Um, the bit with the Vision when he was speaking to the Vision in the ring when Paul was on the outside, I felt that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that part of it. The brawl was not too long, but we got a little bit of a beat down off Cody, and then the Randy Orton save, and him eyeing up the table, what eyeing up the title was a fantastic overall segment. So it was a very, very good start to SmackDown. And normally, when it's a very good start to a show, it tends to be very good throughout, which it was until the main event. um, well, actually, it was a low four, so that it wasn't great, like great, but it was a very low good. Um, we did have a match that I haven't wrote it down, but I will say that the tag team match between Meat Shin, B-Fab, Julia, and Kiana James was actually very decent. Wasn't expecting it to be as long as it was. Wasn't expecting there to be a couple of near falls. Wasn't expecting it to be as decent as it was. I wouldn't say it was good or great, but it was actually a really decent tag team, and I actually really enjoyed it. And it just shows that Julia is good in the ring when she actually is given the chance to have long matches. And people can get behind Julia if she actually has long matches and actually has proper feuds. But this just seems to be where they've placed her at the moment, because I just feel like there's barely anyone to go after the United States Championship. I mean, there is obviously B-Fab. She could have a program with B-Fab. She could have a program with Meat Shin, Chelsea Green, and Alba Fire. And then that's kind of it. I can't really think of anybody else that she could have a program with. I mean, Nikki Cross, maybe. But it's not really like any like out of those five names. There's not, apart from Chelsea Green and Alba Fire, I don't feel that there's huge feuds. Like, I wouldn't mind the other three, but there's not like biggish names for it to catch people's eyes, sort of thing. So I feel like they need to call up a couple of women from the from NXT to come join the mid card SmackDown division to help elevate the United States Championship, because there is a lot of women in NXT that aren't really doing much at the moment, but are bigger enough names to have a feud with Julia. So I feel like we just need a couple of NXT people to go to SmackDown to help that division out a little bit. Yeah, maybe Solruka and Zahara. I don't know how to say her name, but maybe they get called up and they have a tag team feud with Charlotte and Alexa for a bit, and then Sahara turns on Zulrika in the main on the main roster, and then we get those two added as a feud for one, and then they get added to the mid card division for the United States. Like, that would be something that they could possibly go for. But yeah, it's just a bit tricky. Julie's in a bit of a predicament at the moment with having hardly anyone to kind of feud with, really, that are like feuds that we would really, really want to see. But yeah. We did have a number one contender match with the Street Profits and Melodome Miz, obviously for the tag team championships. I was actually expecting Melodome Miz to win here and them to continue this what's the word I'm looking for? Tension between Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, but they worked together really well. But Melo and Miz didn't work very well together, because as Melo was going for the win to become the number one contender for the tag team championship, the Miz tagged himself in, tried to steal the win, caused arguments between Carmelo and the Miz, and I can't remember which one it was that pinned. I think it was no, I don't remember who got the pin on the Miz, because I was focusing on Carmelo, because he started to come into the ring and decided to not break up the pin between whoever it was out of the Street Profits pinning the Miz. So the Street Profits did end up winning that match. It was a very decent tag team match. It was quite enjoyable, but the Street Profits are going on to face the White Six at some point. They didn't say when. Like, it probably will be the Friday Night SmackDown before Crown Jewel, because that just seems to be where they put the tag team championships like 90% of the time, is the Smackdown before Wrestlepalooza, no, Smackdown before PLE. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they're on the card because they deserve to be on the card. And you know what I really want WWE to do is, well, there's two things I want WWE to do, is to lower the ticket price by 10%, like just by 10%. Like I don't want them to lower it by crazy amounts, because I think some of the pricing that they do for like Raw and SmackDowns is not crazy, considering that you're getting a almost 4 hour show. So I don't personally feel that the prices are crazy as some people think they do, but I do think they are a little bit too high. So I think take 10% off the pricing. I feel like it would be a lot better. And then the second thing is more matches on PLEs. Why do we always only get 5 matches? We used to get 9 matches on pay-per-views, like 8 to 10 matches on a B tier pay-per-view when someone else was in charge. Even when Triple H was in charge, we used to get like 8 to 10 matches, even more than that sometimes on a pay-per-view. But now we get 5 and sometimes 6. But I don't know. Like I understand why we get less matches, because they're able to have longer matches, which is always a win. So it's difficult because like 5 matches, we get longer matches where we think it's going to be over, and then someone ends up kicking out, and it's like, oh my god, they kicked out, what the fuck, oh my god, what a near fall. But then another part of me is, it's like 50-50, because another part of me is like 7 matches I feel like is perfect, like 7. So like we just maybe like get rid of like 5 minutes off every single match, like off 5 of them, so 25 minutes off all 5 of those matches, and then that 6 and 7 match gets split in 25 minutes, so like 13-minute match each or 11-minute match each or something like that. Like a couple of matches out of, like, say for some of the 7 matches, 2 of them they only get about 10 minutes, like just over 10 minutes. Well, not sorry, just under 11 minutes sort of match, because obviously the entrances as well. So just under 11-minute match for like 2 of the matches out of 7, and then the rest of them are like 20 to like 25 minutes. That would be like perfect. That would be perfect. 7 matches I feel is perfect, because 5 is too short, and then more than 7 is just a bit too much. So like 7 is like bang on perfect, where we only get 2 out of the 7 matches that are like only like just under 11 minutes, and the rest of them are quite long. Would be absolutely perfect, because it would give wrestlers more opportunities to be on PLEs instead of them just constantly being on the Smackdown before fucking PLE all the time. Like, or bring back Kickoff, where we used to have a couple of matches on the Kickoff show, like just a couple. Like that's what they used to do. We used to have a couple of matches on the Kickoff show before the actual main show started. Like, and they perform in the arena with not it being filled up obviously, but quite a lot of people watching them, and then it's on YouTube, live streamed on YouTube. I don't know why they don't just do that again, because then we're technically getting to like 7 matches then. Even if they're quite short, at least we're still getting 7 matches and they're still on the PLE. So I don't know. But that's just 2 little rants about not WWE, because I know this match between the Street Profits and White Six is probably going to be on the SmackDown before Crown Jewel in Australia. But yeah, anyways, the second to last thing, oh no, actually no, there's 3 more things to speak about. Well, 2 if I don't include the one I'm about to speak about. And that is the Drew McIntyre segment. I wasn't expecting Drew McIntyre to be on the show actually, but Drew moaned, as he always does, about the fact that the refs and the medical team work with Cody. That's why he got seen by his own medical team, but WWE, a medical team, cleared him, and he's not actually injured. Well, he didn't even get cleared from medical team because he didn't see the medical team in WWE, but he's not injured. So he's just pretending to be injured because of what happened at Wrestlepalooza, where the ref was working with Cody Rhodes because he got in the way as Cody was about to, as Drew was about to carve Cody's head in, like he done a few weeks ago, where he kicked him claymored him into the announce table, but because he said when he kicks his head into the steel cage, it's not a disqualification. So why would it be a disqualification if I was to kick his head into the announce table? So why did the referee get in the way, kind of thing? And then Nick Aldis came out and said, yeah, that boot is not our boot. You didn't come and see the WWE medical team, so you are cleared. And then he went on a rant about seeing his own medical team because he feels like WWE's medical team works alongside Cody Rhodes. And then we got the return, I guess. I know he's been on like the dark matches, but I guess return on live TV. Jacob Fatu. Finally, like, where the fuck has Jacob been? Like, what the fuck? Like, he's just not been on the show, but finally, Jacob is back on television, and we are getting the feud between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu that we were going to get like a while ago, when Jacob had the United States Championship, I think. Because he was, he's pretty sure he was working alongside the Bloodline when they last met. So this is a feud carrying on from that, and I am so down for it. So fucking down for it. Joel, what the hell? Jacob told him to shut his bitch ass up, which yeah, he should, because Drew just constantly moans. Like, that's just Drew's gimmick. It's just him moaning all the time. Jacob done his catchphrase, more gas, no breaks with it, and then Drew McIntyre Glasgow kissed him, but it didn't stun Jacob at all, and then Jacob was able to, I think he super kicked him, and was able to stand tall. But I gave the whole segment a 4 out of 5 because I felt that Drew done a very good job at what his gimmick is sort of meant to be. I like that Nick Aldis come out. That was interesting. Wasn't expecting Nick Aldis to come out and randomly do a little mini battle promo segment with Drew, so that was quite cool to see. And then obviously Jacob is now back and delivered a fantastic promo, and the little brawl that we got between the both of them was perfect. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. I don't quite think it was as good as the beginning segment, but it was still really good to watch. So I gave it a 4 out of 5, that segment. And then we got definitely by far the best match of the night, and that was the US Open Challenge match between NXT Javon Evans and the current, obviously, United States champion, Sami Zayn. What a match. I don't feel it was like a 4. I've given it a high 3 out of 5. I didn't give it a 4 because I felt it was quite a quick match and there was a little slip up in the middle of it as well. I know that happens, but I have to be brutally honest with when I'm rating stuff. So that kind of, how short it was good. Don't get me wrong, like, it was a top 3 out of 5 match, but that little slip up that happened, unfortunately, during the match, and how it wasn't as long as I thought it was gonna be, kind of lowered it from like a low 4 to a high 3. But still a very enjoyable match to watch, because a 3 is better than a 1 or 2. So, and it was a high 3 as well, so it's still very close to being a 4. But yeah, this United States Championship Open Challenge is just fantastic, because every match so far has been a 3/4 star 3/4 star match. Jesus, man, 4.5. So see, his match with John Cena was a 3-star match. His match with Race Phoenix was a 4-star. His match with Carmella Hayes last week was a 4-star, and then this again was a high 3 out of 5. So it's just been so enjoyable. Like, Sami gets so much hate for no valid reasoning. Now he's become United States champion and he's doing open challenges, and we're getting to see Sami wrestle every single week and put over young guys and just have incredible matches with these young guys. And obviously John Cena as well, having that match as well, just shows how good Sami Zayn is in the ring. Like, he is fucking incredible in the ring. Like, so fucking good, so talented, and he gets way too much hate for how good he is in the ring. And I understand this whole underdog gimmick, underdog gimmick is annoying, but he's not doing that anymore now, because obviously he's United States champion, so that gimmick's kind of gone now, and he's focusing on doing other stuff now. But I feel like he is winning the Royal Rumble next year, in Saudi. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that at the moment, to be honest with you. We'll see how how everything plans out are up to the Royal Rumble, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, but yeah, a high 3 out of 5 match between Javon Evans, and now we are on to the main event of SmackDown, which, like I said at the beginning, was for the Women's Championship, and it was between Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton. It was very all over the place at the beginning. Tiffany kind of messed up by accident by hitting her leg on the rope, so she didn't actually catch Nia when she was doing the suicide dive. So it was a little bit sloppy for the first 3-4 minutes, and then at the middle it started to pick up, and I was actually okay. All right, no, this is actually quite a high, decent match now. Yeah, no, it's actually all right. And then obviously the injury then happened to Jade, and she delivered a Samoan drop onto the stairs to Nia Jax, considering how gashed her eye was very cool to see. And then it just completely went from a high 3 out of 5 to a low 3 out of 5 very quickly, because it just all completely went wrong. Jade done her ninth. Jade, not, I don't know what, I can't remember what signature movers or finisher, no, signature movers. But she's done it to Nia Jax. Tiffany dropped kicked Jade. She rolled out of the ring. Then Tiffany pinned Nia Jax, and the referee counted to 2. Nia didn't kick out, so she just went 2, and then Nia kicked out after the fact, and it just went to shit. Because I don't know what happened there. I think there was just a very big miscommunication with what was going on. Because obviously, I think Jay was meant to make the save again. So I think Tiffany was meant to drop kick her. She rolled out the ring. As Tiffany was going for the pin again, I think Jay was meant to roll back into the ring and make the save. She was then meant to drop kick or roll her out the ring or punch her, I don't know, something anyway to Jade. She was going to then roll out the ring again, and then Tiffany was meant to go for the prettiest moonsault, pick up the victory. But I think because Jade was getting seen to because of how big the gash on her eyebrow was, that she didn't come in to make the save, that Nia just didn't kick out, because obviously Nia had it in her head that Jade was going to come back in to make the save because she was involved in the match. Even though she gashed her eye, she still got herself involved. So I think Nia just had it in her head that Jade was going to make the save again, but didn't, so she just didn't kick out. So the ref had to just pretend that Nia kicked out or Tiffany moved or something. I don't know. They had to pretend that something happened to the point that the ref said 2, even though Nia just didn't kick out at all. So I think that was what was meant to happen. And then obviously the ref told Tiffany, just go for the prettiest moonsault, picked up the victory, and then that was that. And then yeah, Stephanie made her way to the ring and went face to face with Tiffany Stratton, because that's who Stephanie will be going one-on-one with 2 weeks today at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship. But yeah, it just went all wrong. And I don't feel like it was the refs or Nia's fault, because I feel like the ref was doing what she was meant to do and Nia was doing what she was meant to do, but they just messed up because they didn't realise that Jade wasn't going to come back in and make the save again. So it just, yeah, I think a complete misunderstanding and miscommunication on Nia's part, on Jade's part, and on the rest part, and Tiffany's part. All of them. Just no one had a. Actually, mainly the ref, to be honest with you. Well, it was at fault here, because I feel like the ref should have spoke to the doctor. The doctor then spoke to Nia and said, we're changing the ending of the match. Tiffany just needs to do her moonsault now and then pick up the victory. But none of that communication happened between the doctors and the ref. That Nia just went along with what was meant to happen originally, and so did the ref. So yeah, I think it was just a whole big misunderstanding. But yeah, guys, that was the end of the SmackDown review. That's everything that I wrote down about SmackDown. Like I said, it was a low 4 out of 5, because it was definitely, like I've said a million times, was way better than last week's SmackDown. That was, yeah, not the greatest. But anyways, guys, if you agree with me in this being a 4 out of 5 SmackDown, or let me know in the comments down below. Do you believe, actually, this was a way better SmackDown, so I don't know why you're giving it a 4 out of 5, so you've given it a 5 out of 5. Do you believe that it was on par with last week's SmackDown, so you gave it a 3 out of 5? Do you believe that it was even worse than last week's SmackDown, and this SmackDown was just absolutely dreadful, that you gave it a 2 out of 5 because it was just meh? Or did you give it a 1 out of 5 because this SmackDown was absolutely awful? You never want to watch this SmackDown again. You wish this SmackDown never happened, and yeah, you gave it a 1 out of 5. But anyways, guys, that is the end of the review. I do have some videos coming out next week. I have my top 10 goats coming out, my top 10 women goats. I don't think they might not come out next week. I might be filming it next week and they'll be out the week after. And I also have an updated t-shirt haul coming at some point. And I also have a video coming out that will be out next week. This video will be out next week, is all wrestlers that I've seen live, because I have 11 pages on my notes of wrestlers that I've seen live. So I'm going to do a whole video on that because I think it'd be quite cool to look back on it, of the amount of wrestlers I've seen. So yeah, guys. But anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this SmackDown review. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you are new. And yeah, guys, it's been Charlie, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.